Alright, what's up guys, this is Jake, and in this video I'm going to be showing you step by step how you can create your own online store using Wix. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it without wasting any time. So in order to get started, go ahead and click the first link in the description so that you can follow along with this video step by step. That would be the easiest way for you to create your website, is if you create it alongside me doing it right here. And I'm going to be going pretty slow so that way you'll be able to keep up just fine. So once you go ahead and click that first link in the description, you're going to be brought to this page right here. And once you're here, you just have to go ahead and click start now, and we can begin creating our website. Once we click start now, you're going to be brought to a login and sign up page. Most likely you already do not have an account, so you're going to click sign up right here, and you're going to go ahead and sign up with your information. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So after we signed up here, we're going to just have to go through a couple of initial introductory questions here, so we can just go ahead and click get started. And what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and ask us what type of website we need. So we can just go ahead and type in online store and then click next. And then it's going to give us different options that we want on our website here. So in this particular case, I'm just going to go ahead and keep the default settings checked. So we have the online store built in, and a chat setting as well that lets us chat with visitors. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then here it's just going to ask us whether we're already selling products. So I'm going to just click I'm just exploring. These questions don't really matter too much, so we can just go ahead and answer whatever. So have we created a website before? I've created a few. And once we get to this point right here, we can either let the Wix ADI create a website for us, or we can create our own website with the Wix editor. So in this video, we're going to be creating our own website here. So we're going to go ahead and click on choose a template. And then once we're in here, Wix has a bunch of pre-built website templates here for online stores. So we can see we're already under the online store section right here. So we can see that there is, if we scroll down, there is a bunch of different pages here. If we go ahead and jump to the end, we can see that there's around 10 pages of different online store templates that you can go ahead and use. So depending on the product that you're selling, is going to depend on the type of look of store that you want to go ahead and go for. So you can see that there's a couple different categories here for store templates here that you can go ahead and look at. But one thing that is important to note is that you don't have to stick to these particular categories. So let's say you like a specific theme here inside of sports and outdoors. Let's say you like this bicycle store theme. It doesn't mean you actually have to be selling bikes to use this theme, because you can go ahead and edit any of this stuff. So let's say if I were to go ahead and open one of these up, if you want to go ahead and look at these, you can just click view right here, and then we can click view full demo, and then it will bring up the demo site right here. And we can go ahead and just scroll through it and see what the template of the site looks like. What I would recommend doing is going ahead and clicking through a lot of these different templates to figure out which template you like. And keep in mind, once again, when you're looking through these templates, that all of this stuff can be edited. So like these images can be edited, and all of the text and everything can be edited. So like I said, your product doesn't have to fit the existing theme of the template. The template here is more so just about the core structure of the website itself. And if you click up here, you can actually see what it will look like on mobile as well. So in this particular case, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating an example store around a cookie shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually look in food and drinks. And I was looking at these templates earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and use the tea shop template right here. So if I go ahead and click view, and we go ahead and view this full demo here. So this is going to be the template I'm going to use for this particular video. So if you want to use the same template, you can. However, no matter which template you use, all of these steps that we're going to be following in this video are going to be extremely similar. So no matter which layout you use, everything in this video will still apply. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and click edit this site now. So once you've went ahead and picked a template, you can just click edit this site. And it's going to go ahead and open up a new tab here, and we can go ahead and start actually moving forward with editing our website. So once this loads up here, we're going to be sent to this page right here, which is essentially the Wix editor right here. So we can see that we have the template that we selected, and you can see that there's a lot of different blocks and everything on the screen, and we have this sidebar menu right here, and this is how we can actually edit everything within the store. Now, before we get started with editing, the first thing we do need to do is we do need to select a plan. So since we are going to be selling things on our e-commerce store, we need to select an e-commerce plan so that way we can process payments and get a domain name and things like that. So if we come up here to upgrade, the first thing we need to do is save our site. We're going to have to save it with a free Wix domain right here. So I'm going to just go ahead and put an example domain right here, but we're going to be getting a custom domain here in a second, so you can really put whatever you want here for the free Wix domain. We're going to go ahead and click done, and now we're going to go ahead and just select the compare plans section. And once we're in here, all we need to do is head over to business and e-commerce plans so we can see essential for accepting online payments. And then once we're here, we just need to go ahead and select which plan meets your specific needs. Now, I'm not going to get into the different plans right here, as it's going to vary depending on what you're looking for your specific business. So in this case, I'm going to just go ahead and select the Business Unlimited, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the yearly option. So I'm going to go ahead and just click continue to checkout. So once we go ahead and sign up for the plan here, we're going to get the option to go ahead and get a domain name for free. So this is where we just are going to have a domain or a specific custom domain name for our website. So right here, like we can see, Wix's is just wix.com. So this is where we'll go ahead and typically just put our brand name in here, .com. So in this particular example, I'm just going to put in Jake's Cookie Shop and search to see if it's available here. So sometimes your brand name might not be available, so you might have to do a different variation of it. But a lot of the times, if you have a unique brand name, your brand name domain will be available. So once we go ahead and select the domain name, we can go ahead and just select get, and we're going to go ahead and just select the registration period of 1 year here. And we can see the first year right here isn't going to cost us anything because we already have a e-commerce plan. So I'm just going to go ahead and click continue and finish filling out all of this information. So once we go ahead and purchase the domain, we can see that it's going to be automatically connected to our shop here. At this point, we're going to go ahead and click go to domains. And once we click go to domains, we're just going to have to go ahead and confirm our email, and we will be good to go. So now that we've went ahead and set up the initial things with our site and our domain name, and let's go ahead and actually set up the website. So if we go up here and we click on our store, it's going to bring us here to the dashboard. Go ahead and come up here to site actions and click on edit site, and we're going to be brought back to the Wix website editor. So now that we're back inside the editor, we're actually going to go ahead and get started with editing the website itself, since we already have our domain and everything set up. So at this point, there's pretty much two main sections of this video we're going to be focusing on. So the first one's going to be how we can go ahead and edit content on pages and everything like that. So we're going to be editing this home page. And then the second thing we're going to look at is how we can actually add our products in and set up our payments and everything like that. So let's go ahead and get started with getting familiar with the Wix editor. Everything within Wix works with a drag and drop type of functionality here. So we can see if I were to go ahead and drag this text, I can pretty much move it wherever I want. But typically you're not going to have to do too much of that, considering the template already that you selected already typically is going to be formatted pretty well, so you won't have to drag it around too much. But you can put stuff pretty much anywhere you want. Now, one thing that you do want to keep in mind is that these lines right here on the left and right side, it's typically recommended that you keep a good amount of your content within these lines, just so that way stuff looks good on mobile. And at any point when we're editing our site, we can go ahead and click up here and click switch to mobile, which will allow us to see what the site looks like on mobile, which is definitely good to look at. However, it's going to typically be a lot easier to edit in the desktop version and then just check at the end to make sure everything looks good on mobile. So let's say we wanted to go in here and change this background image first. So if I went ahead and just clicked on the background here, we can go ahead and click change page background. So we can see right here there's a lot of different default backgrounds that we can go ahead and use. But in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and select image. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is, once we select image, we can see that we can upload media here. So a lot of the time we're going to be uploading our own photos to fit our own brand. So I'm going to go ahead and upload a photo now. And when we go ahead and upload, we can choose to upload from our computer, Dropbox, Facebook, Instagram, pretty much anywhere where we would have our photos. So I'm going to go ahead and click upload. So I went ahead and uploaded a photo right here. So we can see that once the photo is uploaded, we can go ahead and just select it and then come down here and click change background. and then we'll see here in a second, it will update with a brand new background. So one thing you'll notice is that if you change some of the background, you can see that now it's a little bit harder to read this text because the text is white and this photo is brighter than the other one. So in order to fix this right here, we can go ahead and click image once again, and what we're going to go ahead and do is select the same image, but we're going to come in here and select adjust. And then once we are in here, we can scroll down to the bottom and we can select tint, and I'm going to make the tint black, select OK. And then what we can go ahead and do is drag this slider, and we can see that it makes the image a lot darker. So if I make the full tint right here and click save, and then we go ahead and wait for this to load up, and we click change background, now we can see that the image is a lot darker and our white text once again looks a lot better. So now let's go ahead and edit some of the other stuff right here. So let's say we wanted to go ahead and edit this text. We could just go ahead and double click on the text right here, and I could go ahead and change it to our branding right here. And we can go ahead and edit this right here as well. And if we wanted to go ahead and click this button, let's say I wanted the button to be a little bit bigger, I could go ahead and select the button and make it a little bit bigger. So the next thing I'm going to show you how to edit here is going to be this top header right here. So when it comes to editing different things on your site, you want to have a good idea of what your branding color scheme is going to be. So if you have a logo already, you can go ahead and use the colors in your logo throughout your website. So in this particular case, I'm going to be using this example logo right here. So I'm going to have a lot of the colors on the website based around this color of brown right here. So if you have a pre-existing logo and colors already, you're going to want to get the hex code for the primary colors that you can use throughout your website. So in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and grab this hex code right here for use here in a second. And if you don't have Photoshop, you can use this by searching hex code finder in Google. So if we come back over here, and let's say I wanted to change the hue of this header here to fit our branding, because right now it is a dark blue, which doesn't really fit with our color scheme. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on it right here. I'm going to click change header design, and what we can do here is we can click customize design, and I'm going to scroll over here, and I'm going to select this preset design right here. And what I'm going to do is then click on this color where we can put in our own colors right here. And then if we come down here to custom colors and I click the plus sign, I can go ahead and put in that hex code that we just got. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here, and then I'm going to click add, and now we can see that this is set, and we can go ahead and edit the opacity of this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it up to about 80, and we will go ahead and stick with that. So we can see that the site's already coming along pretty well. So at this point, we can scroll down here and we could go ahead and edit the rest of this stuff as well in the same way. So we can see here that with this theme, we have 4 products showcased here. So instead of saying like new arrivals, I could click on this and change it to something else. And then we could come in here and double click on this text and edit it as well. Now within the text settings, you can actually go ahead and change a lot of different things like your fonts and everything, but I would recommend that you stick with 1, if not only 2 fonts max for your entire site, because if you use too many different fonts, not only does it get confusing, but it also makes your site a lot slower. So I'd stick to 1 or 2 fonts max, and then you can also, and we also have basic other text settings in here where we can change the font size if we want to make this a bit bigger. Or we could come in here and we can make it bold, we can make it italicized, underline it, whatever we want to go ahead and do. We can go ahead and actually highlight this if we want, or we could go ahead and change the text color. So we can pretty much do whatever we want. But the cool thing is with these templates is everything is kind of built in for us. So all we have to do is fill in the information. So if we go ahead and were to just type in something real quick, we could go ahead and have that here. So this is the product section right here for this particular template, but we're not going to be editing these yet because we're going to change these later when we actually add in products. So we could come down here and let's say we wanted to make this button match our branding as well. We go ahead and click on the button and then click design, and then we can actually change this to a bunch of different buttons. So if we like a different type of button, we can go ahead and change to that. Now in this particular case, I'm going to stick with the button that goes with the template, and I'm just going to click customize design. And if we go ahead and go here, we can click on fill color, and what I'm going to do is click the color right here, and we already have the custom color that we created earlier. That's brown. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and then we're done. And we can see that now we have the custom button that fits our branding as well. So now we have another section here that we could go ahead and fill in. So we would edit this the same way that we edited this top section right here. So if I went ahead and clicked on it, we could go ahead and click change strip background. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to select image again. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to upload another different image right here. I went ahead and uploaded another image here, and I'm going to click change background here, and now we can see we have a more custom background that fits our site. And once again, with the white text, it's hard to see here. So what we can go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and make it darker once again. So we're going to come over here to images, and we're going to go ahead and adjust it, and we're going to give it black tint, just like we did the other photo. So now we have visible text once again, so we could go ahead and just edit this text, and we're good to go. Now let's say we wanted to add additional text on here. What we could go ahead and do actually is, let's say I wanted to make this a bigger heading, and I wanted to have smaller text on here as well. What we could go ahead and do is drag this up. I could come over here to add, and I can go ahead and select text right here. And we could go ahead and add different types of headings. So if I wanted to add another heading, we could, or we could go ahead and add like a paragraph. So in this case, I'm going to drag a paragraph in here, and all you have to do is drag it and drop it, and it's right here. And then I'm going to double click and edit it just like before. You can see it automatically matches the font that we were already using. I'm going to change the text color to white. I'm going to go ahead and type something in. And let's say I wanted to go ahead and change the layout. I could go ahead and drag it a little wider, and in this case I'm going to align it to center because that looks a little bit better. And then we can go ahead and drag this like that, and now we've went ahead and customized this section. So now at this point right here, we have a testimonial section we can fill in right here. So once again, we can see this is a solid color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the slide background here, and I'm going to select color, and we're going to just change it to the branding color that we've typically been using. So this is why I said earlier, it's definitely important to make sure that you have all of your branding hex codes that you can upload to the site, because you want all of your site to make sense with your branding. So you're typically going to be having one or two primary colors throughout your entire site. So we can see now that once we've changed this, at this point, our entire site is starting to look a lot better, and it's starting to blend together into an actual site. And down here, we can go ahead and edit our footer as well. So our footer goes ahead and comes with this default information. So it goes ahead, and we already have links to our different pages right here. And we could go ahead and change our taglines right here. We can come down here, click on the email button right here, click design, and let's go ahead and click on submit button, and we can go ahead and change this submit button here to the same color as well. So it's just a couple of little design things like this that's going to make the site look a lot better, because it's all going to flow and have the same color and branding throughout. So at this point, we've went ahead and customized the entire home page, and our home page looks good. The only part that doesn't fit is the products, and that's because we're about to start doing the products now. And actually, one other thing we want to quickly do on the home page here is we want to go ahead and change this button to our branding color as well. So if I click on the button down here, the chat button, click on settings, come over here to design, go ahead and change the design right here, change the background color to our color right there. So we changed the background color right there, and then we're also going to click on the minimize chat, and we're going to change the background color of this as well. And now everything on the home page matches our branding. So now that we've edited the home page here, there's just a couple more things I want to show you as far as pages go before we actually start adding our products. So if we come up here to menus and pages, we can see that we were editing the home page. So let's say if I were to go click on the about page right here, we could go ahead and just do the same exact process on this page. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and edit every single page in this video because it would make the video too long. However, the process is exactly the same. You could just come in here and change this to a custom image and then put in information about your business right here. Now, one other thing I want to show you is how you can also add specific sections to pages. So now that we're on a page here, let's say we wanted to go ahead and add more things. So we went ahead and I showed you how to add headings and paragraph text, but let's say we wanted to add a whole strip. So we see here we're on an about page. So we could go ahead and add a bunch of different about us type strips. So let's say you don't like this layout as much. Let's say you want to use something like this. We could go ahead and drag this right in here, drop it in, and it gives us a whole nother strip that we can go ahead and fill in. And then filling in this information is just like what we did on the home page. It's the same exact process. And let's say once we drag this in, we don't actually like it. We can right click on it, delete it, and it's gone. So if we go ahead and click add again, we can see that there's a bunch of different strips that we can go ahead and add in. We have welcome strips, services strips, teams strips, testimonials. So we can add a bunch of different strips as a whole, or we can add smaller things. So like we added text before, we can add in different images here. We can add in different buttons. So let's say we just wanted to add in a specific button. We could drag that into an existing strip just like that. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And then we can go ahead, come back here and add a bunch of different things. So a bunch of different galleries. So pretty much everything within the Wix editor works in the same fashion. It's a drag and drop fashion. And you can see there's a lot of different things that we can go ahead and drag in. We can drag in contact forms and a bunch of things of the sort. So if you feel like the default template that you chose needs a couple of things added to it, you can go ahead and add anything you want within the add section right here. So at this point now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to head back to home really quick, and I'm going to show you how we can go ahead and edit these individual pages. So let's say right here, if we wanted to just change this menu name right here. So in this particular case, we're not selling teas, we're selling cookies. So I'm going to change the tea page. So if we click on that, we can see this is pretty much the shop page right here. So I want to go ahead and change the name of the page from teas to something else. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, click the three dots, click on rename, and we're just going to rename that to cookies. Click done, and what we can see here is now that where it said teas, it now says cookies. So if you want to change any of these page names, it's the same exact process. We can just go ahead and click on it and change the name. So at this point, we pretty much went through how to use the entire editor. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at how you can actually add products into the store so you can actually start selling things. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is come down here to online store. It's going to say welcome to your store, and we're going to go ahead and click get started. So once we click get started here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select add products. So what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and load up the product dashboard here. And we can see with most templates, there's going to be a bunch of default products already in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of these. So I'm going to hit select all, and I'm going to click the trash can, and we're going to delete all these products. And now we're going to go ahead and add in some of our own products right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click new product, and we can choose whether we are selling a digital product or a physical product. So if we're selling like a PDF or an ebook, we would go ahead and select digital. In most cases, we're probably going to be selling physical products. In this example, we're going to be doing physical. So I'm going to select physical. We're going to go ahead and open this up. And the editor is pretty simple. So right here, we can see that we just put in the title of our product. So in this particular case, we're going to make this chocolate chip cookies. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and add images or add videos of our product. So if we do have particular videos of our product, we can add that in. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and add an image. So we can just click that, and we're going to just go ahead and upload media just like we did before. So once we go ahead and upload the photo, we can just go ahead and click add to page here. Now, if you do have multiple product images, you definitely want to upload them. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to be going ahead and using one. So in this particular case here, after we upload our photos, we can come down here. We have the name of the product right here, and we can go ahead and set the price of the product. So let's say that we are going to sell this for $19.99. We can go ahead and create sales here. So if we click on sale, we can see that the sale price is $19.99. So we can go ahead and put, let's say, a 10% discount here. So now the sale price is $17.99. So this is how we can create sales. So in this case, I'm going to just keep it as default. We can add a ribbon right here, which kind of shows just like a special feature for the product. So we could put something like, this is the monthly special. Go ahead and just add that in. And then right here, we can go ahead and add a description for our products. So this is where you want to go ahead and showcase a bunch of different things about your products right here. And we can go ahead and use the text editor. We can go ahead and put links in here if we want. And then down here, we can add additional information if we want. So we can share information like a return policy with our customers if we so choose. In this particular case, I'm just going to keep that blank. And then down here, we could also allow customers to personalize the products with a custom text field. So if you're selling a product that has a lot of customization to it, then this is where you would go ahead and add that in. And then right here we have product options. So this is going to be pretty common for a lot of people. So if we click options right here, we can see this is how we can create a bunch of different options. So let's say in this particular case, option could be amount. So it could be the amount of cookies, and we can see we can separate the choices with commas. So let's say we have 1 dozen is one option, 2 dozen, or 3 dozen. You can see that these sizes are in right here. Another thing we could go ahead and do is, let's say we were selling shirts with different colors. We could go ahead and make it, we could go ahead and type in color, and we could just type in a bunch of different colors right here. And we could go ahead and just click add. Now, if we want to go ahead and manage our pricing and inventory for variants, we can do that by checking this on right here. So let's say we wanted to change the price for red cookies. If red cookies were for some reason more expensive than blue ones, you can go ahead and change the particular price right here. So if I were to type in $1 additional, we can see that this red cookie is now $1 more than the rest of the cookies. So let's say a lot of times when you're selling clothes, larger clothes cost a little bit more. So this is where we can go ahead and edit it so you can make your larger sizes a bit more expensive. So in this particular case, I'll go ahead and just click apply. And then at this point right here, down here, this is where we can go ahead and create a subscription if we had a subscription product. And this would more so apply typically to digital products. So once we've filled in all that information, one thing we can do as well is we can go ahead and add this particular product to a collection. So we can see it's in the all products collection right here, but we can create another collection by clicking this. And let's say the collection in this case would just be cookies. So I can create the cookies collection, click check, and it's already in there. So once we've went ahead and filled out all this information, the next thing we can do really quick is go ahead and click edit SEO settings, and we're going to go ahead and just click save and continue. So we can see that now what it's going to do is it's going to show us what this particular page is going to look like on Google. So essentially you can go ahead and edit what your link is going to look like here. So we could go ahead and come in here and clean this up a little bit, space this out. Then what we could go ahead and do is when it comes to SEO, you typically just want to put the relevant keywords in the SEO description here. So let's say since this page is about chocolate chip cookies, you would just want to make sure that chocolate chip cookies are in here, and like best chocolate chip cookies might be a keyword. So you just want to make sure you put keywords in here, but you don't want to do too many keywords to where the sentence doesn't actually make sense. So you want to make sure that the description actually makes sense, but you want to try and put keywords in there as well. And then once we've done this, we can go ahead and click save. So at this point now, we've went ahead and added one product in, and the process is exactly the same for adding all of our products in. So you just want to go through one by one and add all of your products in, and then you'll be good to go. So I'm not going to go ahead and add in more products right now because it's just going to make the video too long. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step here, which is going to be to set up payment methods. And we can see that Wix does give you a lot of different suggestions right here when you're creating the store, telling you what to do next. So this is convenient here. I'm going to go ahead and click on get paid. And what we're going to go ahead and do now is go ahead and confirm our business location. So in this case, it's United States. And what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to go ahead and accept payments. So we can connect Wix payments or other third-party providers. So what we can go ahead and do is select either manual payments, PayPal, or accept credit and debit cards with Wix. So the most common thing you want to do is make sure you accept credit and debit cards through Wix. And you can also connect your PayPal account if you want. So I would recommend setting both of these up. So if I were to go ahead and accept credit and debit cards, I could just click connect. You wanted to make sure that you confirm that you meet the guidelines right here. And if you don't sell any of these restricted products, you can go ahead and click no, and we can move on. And then once you go ahead and do that, all you're gonna have to do is fill out this sensitive information right here. So you put in your personal details, your social security number, your address, and your business description, and then you go ahead and put in your banking details right here. You accept the terms and conditions and then click submit, and then you will be able to start accepting payments through Wix. Now back here with settings again, if we go to accept payments, you would just want to go ahead and do the same exact thing with PayPal, and then you'll be good to go. The next thing we're going to take a look at is our shipping. So we can go ahead and define our shipping regions and rates. So if we go ahead and open up shipping settings right here, go ahead and choose where we want to ship to, and then we can choose our shipping rules. So right now by default we have all of the United States. Shipping options is free, and then international is free as well. So what we can do is, let's say we only ship to the United States, we could just uncheck international, and we could go in here and edit the shipping rules right here. So let's say we wanted to go ahead and change rates right here, so we could add in a flat rate. So let's say we wanted to do a flat $10 rate, we could go ahead and do that. Or let's say we wanted to do a rate by weight, so depending on how much of the particular product they order, how much the order weight is, that would determine the rate. So let's say so this is 0 to 1 pound, the rate would be like say $10, and then 1 pound and up, the rate is $20. So you can go ahead and add more ranges as well. You could do 0 to 1 pound, 1 to 2 pound, 2 pounds and up is $30. So it depends on what your products are. It's going to depend on the type of shipping rate you want to use. And you can also do USPS calculated rates as well. So you could go ahead and add in first class and priority mail services and priority mail express if you wanted to offer all three of these different mailing services. Now when it comes to which one you want to use, once again this is going to vary depending on what products you are selling and which shipping you want to offer. The calculated rates is typically the easiest in my opinion, so I would recommend doing that. So if we come back here to settings now, we can scroll down here and we can select store tax, which is what we'll set up next. And what we can go ahead and do is we can start collecting tax at checkout depending on our country. So we can go ahead and click add country right here, and we could go ahead and we need to collect tax in the United States, and then we could select which state we are going ahead and operating our business out of. And we could go ahead and just click add, and then we can go ahead and add the tax rate that we want to go ahead and collect. So depending on where you live and where your business operates out of, that will depend on the tax rates that you have to go ahead and use. And alternatively, if you want to go ahead and automate the store tax, you can go ahead and click automate your tax up here, and what you can go ahead and do is have your sales tax automatically calculated by Avalara. So if you went ahead and clicked start now and you just agreed to the terms, you can go ahead and have your entire tax setup automated if you don't want to set it up yourself. At this point now, we've went ahead and went through the entire Wix editor, so we know how to go ahead and edit the look and feel of our site, and we also know how to add products in. We already know how to accept payments, set up shipping, and set up tax. So at this point, the store is essentially good to go. So if we went over here to dashboard here, so a couple of things that you can do before you publish the site here is, if we do come down here and click get found on Google and click get started, we can go ahead and set up some SEO for our site using the Wix SEO Wiz. So if we go ahead and click start now, we can go ahead and just go in and fill in this information right here. Click next, and you select whether you have a physical business location or not. If you do, you put in your area. If you don't, you just say it's online only. You click next, and you can go ahead and describe your business in up to 5 words, and then put commas between them. So you can just put in a couple of keywords right here, and then if you click create SEO plan right here, Wix is going to go ahead and give you a couple of ideas for SEO. And essentially what this does is it's going to help you optimize your store based around the keywords that you selected here. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to go ahead and give you all these steps that you can go ahead and follow here. So I'm not going to go ahead and actually set all of this up in the video because it is pretty self-explanatory. You just want to go ahead and follow all these steps, and SEO optimizing your store will help you to go ahead and get more traffic from Google. So at this point now, I'm going to show you how to publish the site, and you are pretty much good to go. So if we come back here to the dashboard and we do site actions, edit site, and we load up the Wix editor once again, once we go ahead and wait for this to load up, we will be able to go ahead and come up here to the top right and publish the site. So yeah, at this point we've went ahead and learned how to edit all of the different pages in here. We can see that now our updated product that we added is showing up right here, and we can see the ribbon showing up here as well. And if we were to go ahead and add in more products, they would show up right here as well. So we can see that making a online store with Wix isn't too complicated, especially once you get used to using the editor. So with that said, once we go ahead and are ready to go, we can come up here and just click publish, and we can click publish to go live with the site. And at this point, once we click that, we will see our site is published and live online. So at this point, congratulations, you've went ahead and set up your online store in under 1 hour. So if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel, and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.